Today we are going to spend some time talking about proper sexual consent and why it is important. I am your host, Cherono Kitur. Sit back and relax. The Candid Cave show starts now. Welcome back. So what really is proper sexual consent? We took to the streets of Nairobi to find out what you guys think, and this is what you had to say.
Proper sexual consent is where both parties involved have a common understanding to where their sexual relationship is going. So in the case where the man and the woman both know that they can engage in sexual intercourse, that is proper sexual understanding, apart from only one party wanting it and the other party not wanting it.
I think sexual consent should be as easy as fries. Simply, it should be freely given. You should be sober enough to say that it's a yes or it's a no. And again, it should be reversible. You can decide to reverse anytime and change your mind. It should also be informed, as in you know what you're getting yourself into. And it should also be enthusiastic. I mean, it should be fun for you, not just something you're doing for the sake of doing it. And it should also be, what's this last one? Specific. Yeah, you should not just go in there not knowing what you're going to do, because there's so many forms of sexual parts. I mean, there could be making out, there's sex, there's all that. So you should know what you're going to do. That's my opinion.
What I understand with proper sexual consent is, understanding your partner, and just, approaching them with some respect. It doesn't matter if someone, you're in a relationship with someone, you still have to respect them as a human, because as human beings, we have an individual or a human being as dignity. And so when you're sexually engaging one another, I think that should as well be considered, respecting that person and knowing that they also have dignity. So you have to treat them right. Yes.
For me, I think proper sexual consent is a personal decision. It needs you to think about it. So if you're ready to take up all the things that come with it, then I think you can go for it, because there's some emotional commitment that comes with it and so many other commitments. So if you think about it and you think that you're actually ready to take up all those things, then I think you can go for it.
Consent is a mutual agreement between two people to do something. So when two adults come together and agree to engage in sexual activities, I think it's okay. Because without consent, then one party can sue the other for rape. The Constitution also recognizes a relationship between opposite sexes, that is the male and the female. So the Constitution, being the supreme law of the land, has already given them the right to consensually engage in sexual relationships. So I think that's okay. Except for the prostitution, if the prostitution proceeds are used for living, then that's an offense. But if sexual offenses are done in private, regardless of whether they're prostitution or not, as long as it does not affect the public policy, I think they should just be allowed to do their thing.
Proper consent is when both parties choose to proceed into an act where no one gets any issue while doing adult things. I think that's it.
Yeah, both genders have to be willing to perform the act, to have sex, not the girl is being forced or something by the boy, or the boy himself being forced by the girl. Both parties have to be willing to have sex, not by peer pressure or anything like that.
To me, proper sexual consent is both parties agreeing on the terms that the both of you will go by if you agree to have sex, because she has personal boundaries, man has personal boundaries, so you cannot violate the terms that you two have agreed on, because if she does not want to engage in sex, that's a violation, that's assault, and that's not right. It's supposed to be, both of you are supposed to be on a solid ground, and you accept, like, I want it, she wants it, then you can have sex. So yeah.
What I think about consent when it comes to the bill in motion at this particular point, whereby the consensual age should be lowered down from 18 years to 16 years. In my opinion, I think it's very backward in this sense. Section 2 of the Children's Act defines a child to be any person who is below the age of 18. And you see, when we try and introduce such bills that's contradicting what there was before, then it becomes an issue. A child, in my opinion, does not have the capacity to actually, number one, decide things from themselves. That includes sexually, even when it comes to paying of bills, and even when it comes to matters of marriage. Because let's be honest, a person, I think a child should be protected from such things. And to me, that's clearly a violation of children, and they have a right to be protected under the law and everywhere. So I think as Kenyans, we should try and not in any way be backward. We try and advocate for good things that protects our children. Thank you.
Sexual consent, according to our religion, is only applicable in marriage, because sex before marriage is not accepted in Islam. And even in marriage, the wife is supposed to completely submit to the husband. Therefore, sexual consent becomes very irrelevant, since if the husband wants to sleep with the wife, she has no other option but to give it to him.
As for me, I think sexual consent it's very important, and basically I feel like it's important because it's all about making the person you're having sex with comfortable, and most of the time it's not even about it. Even if she says yes or whatever, if she says yes, and if you find like don't pressure her into anything, make sure it's both of you are in agreement and you're going to do it, because this miscommunication is what leads to people regretting it later, or abuse again. It's also a form of abuse. So consent is super important, whoever you're with and anytime. Yeah.
There are different legal definitions of sexual harassment in different countries and jurisdictions, but the most common forms of sexual harassment include telling sexual or dirty jokes, displaying or distributing sexually explicit drawings or pictures, letters, notes, emails, telephone calls, or material of any sexual nature, rating people on their physical attributes, sexual comments about a person's clothing, anatomy, or looks, whistling or catcalling, sexually suggestive sounds or gestures such as sucking noises, winks, or pelvic thrusts, direct or indirect threats or bribes for an unwanted sexual activity, repeatedly asking a person out for dates or to have sex, name-calling, staring in an offensive way, unwanted questions about one's sex life, unwanted touching, hugging, kissing, fondling, brushing up against somebody. If any of the mentioned acts is not consented to, then it is considered sexual assault. We will now take a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
I need a product that I can really trust to restore my skin's natural glow. Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to restore your natural glow and care for your skin.
Hello, here to pick up your sister? Mommy! Mommy? Wow, such beautiful glowing skin.
Reveal your natural glow with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
Welcome back to the show. Women are more likely to be sexually assaulted than men. Some statistics average 4 out of 6 women have been sexually assaulted at least once during their lifetime. In Kenya, especially lately, public places have been horribly unsafe for women. For example, in 2014, a lady was stripped by matatu conductors for being indecently dressed. This inspired people in other towns to strip women in a series of copycat crimes. Groping is, in fact, a consent violation. Take a look at the following clip. Shocking, right?
That is insane.
Today in studio, I am joined by Moses Ocheng, who is a student and also in a very serious relationship. Welcome to the studio, Moses.
Thank you.
First things first, I would like to know what are your feelings after watching that clip?
I think that is so wrong. I mean, we can do better as men. Touching people, I mean, without their consent,
Yeah.
it's not proper. It is indecent. It is so wrong.
Uncouth. And you'll be surprised, this happens a lot, especially in public places.
Yeah,
Even in Nairobi, in towns, men literally grope you whenever they feel like. And I think for a country like Brazil, you would think they know better.
They should know better.
Yeah, but that means back home it's worse.
It's worse here in the global south. I think if those people can behave in that manner, it means that it goes to say that here in Africa, things must be very bad.
Worse. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I would like to know, what is consent to you, sexual consent?
Sexual consent is willingly giving yourself to your partner or to the person that you want to have sex with. Yeah, you are just giving yourself to them, allowing them, giving them permission to touch you and to have sex with you.
Okay. Also, do you think this whole conversation of how consent is important, do you feel like consent is important?
It is very important. The only problem that I have with that narrative is that people tend to talk about consent even in marriage, especially in holy matrimony. If you ask me, the moment you said, yes, I do, as a woman, as a man, the moment you entered into this contract, that holy matrimony, you already consented. So what remains is for the two of you to be agreeing on how, when, and where you're going to have sex. So this idea of people trying to say that I have to, yes, you'll allow me to have sex with you, but then it should not be a big deal. You consented when you said, you consented at the altar.
Because I am married to you, I am obligated to have sex with you whenever you feel like.
Not you, both of us. Both of us.
So it goes both ways.
Yes. But we should not bring this idea that men, like, do you feel like a man has to write like an application letter to have sex with his woman? I mean, that is wrong. Even the Bible tells us that you should not deny your man your body, and your man should also not deny you his body.
That brings us to the question of the day. Do you people think that do you people think that consent is also applicable in marriage? Let us know on our Twitter handle at Candid Cave Pod 1, and we shall be sure to share your opinions. An amendment to the Sexual Offences Act presented to Parliament through the Statute Law 2016 wants the consensual sex lowered from 18 to 16 years. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with us in Kenya, because now a 16-year-old is a small baby. It's a small girl. I mean, she doesn't know what sex is all about. She should be allowed time to clear school first.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be asking ourselves at 16. That is a standard, maybe
6.
She's in,
Standard 6, 5? No. Actually, that's Form 2.
That's Form 2.
Yeah.
But would you want your Form 2 daughter to be having sex around? I mean, would they be okay with the people who are bringing that amendment? If that was their daughter, would they be okay with it? For me, I think they should even raise it higher so that the age of consent should be 21. And also, the question that we should be asking ourselves, what does he want to achieve with it? Or what do they want to achieve with that?
Lowering the age,
yes. Why should we should even increase it?
And I think we are also setting ourselves up for failure, because we are now going to allow 16-year-olds who have not been to any single sex education class to freely have sex whenever they feel like.
I mean, it will be terrible.
Disastrous. We are setting ourselves up for failure.
Yes,
that's for sure.
And
yeah.
I mean, we want to destroy a generation or generations to come. Let it remain 18, but if we want to make changes to it, let's raise it to 21.
Yeah, actually, you will be surprised. I did a bit of research on this topic, and I found out that in Mexico, the consensual sex age is actually 12.
12?
12 years old.
I mean, 12 is a kid.
12 is a baby.
That one is a small kid.
12 is, I was in shock. And for that kind of ideology to also seep down into Kenya and for us to actually propose lowering the age is kind of absurd.
I mean, we are Africans.
Yeah.
Let's live like Africans.
Yeah.
Let's allow our babies to be babies, our kids to be kids, and then when they become of age, when they come of age, now we can let them do whatever they want.
Exactly. Also, the Constitution recognizes any person below the age of 18 as a child. So we are just contradicting ourselves. We are saying, okay, we said below 18 are children, but now 16, so have sex with children, which is completely wrong. What do you guys think back at home? Let us know on our Twitter handle at Candid Cave Pod 1. And we will now take a short commercial break. Don't move.
What if all of us came together to do something incredible? An anthem made from all of us.
There's a feeling for me and you. You can do.
Here's to the us in every tasker.
Thank you for staying tuned to the Candid Cave show. Now, I know you're wondering, how do you know for sure that someone has freely consented to having sex with you? Consent is as easy as fries. Yes, fries, chipo. F stands for freely given. Consenting is a choice you make without pressure, manipulation, or under the influence of drugs or alcohol. R stands for reversible. Anyone can change their mind about what they feel like doing anytime, even if you've done it before, and even if you're both naked in bed. I stands for informed. You can only consent to something if you have the full story. For example, if someone says they'll use a condom and they don't, there isn't full consent. E stands for enthusiastic. When it comes to sex, you should only do stuff you want to do, not things that you feel you're expected to do. S stands for specific. Saying yes to one thing, like going to the bedroom to make out, does not mean you said yes to others, like having sex. Consent make this world a little safer. That's all we had for you today, folks. Let us know what you think on our Twitter handle at CandidCavePod1. I have been your host, Cherono Kitur. Until next time, goodbye.